Hello, everybody. How is it going? We're going to get started here momentarily. I'm going to let people filter in. Let me get the chat out here. Pop out chat. There we go. Say hi in the chat and I will attempt to pronounce your name. Most people I really can't. We have a wide audience here, not just the US. I know, it's kind of strange I'm doing this on a Wednesday and not a Friday, huh? How's it going? Exactly. I can't even pronounce this guy's name. Hello, Kryl or Krill, or I'll just call you Chemin. Rousey. KH Course. AXV. I wonder if I can... Yeah, I can't make this chat appear bigger. Like, the zoom is not working on this window. That's okay. Steve. Okay. No, that was a horrible try. All right. All right, so might as well start. First, I'm going to tell you about why I'm actually doing a live stream on a Wednesday instead of a Friday. And that is because my daughter has been in the hospital for the past several days. I believe she'll be able to go home today, but it's just been so busy. Oh my God, I'm tired. And long story short, she had like this groin lump the size of an egg. And we had testing done on it like 2 weeks ago, and so it was a large lymph node, and they thought maybe it could be cat scratch fever. They gave us antibiotics, and the antibiotics she had an allergic reaction to. Her fever shot up to like 106. We had to take her to the hospital, and she had a rash that broke out all over her body, and just vomiting. It was horrible. But finally, the fever has subsided, and they got her on a new antibiotic to try to treat this lymph node that's large, and they still think it's cat scratch fever. We won't know until a few days. But yeah, so the worst part's over, we believe. They think it's just an infection, and she may have got it like a cat scratch from playing with a kitten or something. Sucks. Anyhow, so yeah, I'm doing the live stream today, and just to make it more different, you know I usually do like the UI UX review. I'm going to focus on logos. That's not to say I won't look at and just spend a little bit of time on the UI UX. So you guys can submit web designs as long as there's a logo on it of some sort. So let's go ahead and get started. So I already have a few entries I've got here for the past hour. Let me see here. This is I think we'll just do, okay, so I should have prefaced this that like if you're going to submit just a logo, at least tell me what the logo is about, what it stands for, because this right here, as you can see, it just says, it's just a letter mark, which is the type of logo, where it just says C. Now, he said the name is Code Helios. Now, what's strange about me to this logo, it's so simple, I can't really say it's horrible or anything, but is it relevant for a coding company? When you think of a coding or programming company, you have like a certain aesthetic that you think of. Now, if they're a coding company, perhaps like a game programming company, then this type of style, because it feels very cartoonish, it would be relevant. I just don't have enough information to really give a good judge of character on this this logo right here. In and of itself, not knowing anything else about it, it's a very unique, I'm going to say very unique, but it still has a lot of style. You could see that it's a C. It would work on small sizes. You would see it. So that's all I have to go on that one, unfortunately. But let's continue on. Toby said he's tried for 3 critique streams now. Here's my portfolio website. He really wants me to look at his portfolio site. So I guess I will do that. It does have a logo, so I'm gonna focus on that for a second too. So looking at this, my monitor today, I have, we're streaming at a 4K monitor at 1080p, so I have to increase the scale of things just to make sure you can see them. Toby, I love this word mark of the name. It's so simple, it can't go wrong. Now, is it very unique? No, it's not. But everything else, I love the type. It works very well. He wants me to check out his actual site though. Just looking at it here real quickly. So he's going for a very simplistic monochromatic theme, which works. But I do have to say, it would be nice to have this text right here. Let me go into the inspector real quickly. And like change it to like color gray for a second. Maybe not that dark or that light. And also maybe like a font size of, let's see here. Maybe something like that. I think if you compare these two cards, the March 2018 one, the Energy Vision versus the Pool Cam, it's, I think, a little bit, you could differentiate a little bit more because you have the type, the date here, it's almost styled exactly the same. So just to separate them a little bit more visually would be ideal. Other than that, I think everything here looks pretty solid. I think this part needs a little bit of work because I'm not sure what's happening in this card. So I would just work on the cards a little bit more. All right, awesome. Let's continue on. Let's see here. I've got a site if you want to review it. It's for a beauty clinic. The logo is not good and hard to read. All right, well, let's check it out. You could post your site on the Discord server, by the way, which the link is in the YouTube description. All right. So, yeah, the logo, definite issue here. So, one of the things that I see often when I'm doing website or app UI UX reviews, and it comes to the logos, sometimes we'll have what's happening here. They'll have the main name, and then underneath that, very tiny, which is, you can't even barely see it, is the like a tagline or a slogan, as it's called. And they try to cram it in such a small space, and you can't read it, and all it does is end up just cluttering the design, the logo design and the UI design as a whole. So I'm a big fan of, if you don't have enough space and if you can't read it, don't include the slogan. So that's what I would advocate right here. Or if you must have the slogan, make it larger. Try to make it fit. Maybe put it to the right, and that way you can increase the size of the slogan. Also, the outside of that, the scale issue, the actual, I see the logos like encased in this like this sort of purple kind of Gaussian cloud sort of look, and that's creating an issue with contrast in the slogan as well. It's making it real hard to see. What I would advocate doing is just get rid of that whole red/pinkish background and just stick with black and white if possible. All right, looking at the UI design though, this call to action should be this color or something that really stands out by default. This one does not stand out at all. This is a pretty good section right here. Yeah, for the most part, everything else seems pretty solid. But that logo, yeah, that's the big thing. As he mentioned, maybe he didn't design it and that's what they're stuck with. But just looking at the logo, yeah, definitely some room for improvement. All right, the next one, this is the logo design I made for a logo design competition. It was canceled. I had to use the company's name for the logo, so I couldn't make a logo with just the initials of the company name. The font and colors, that's known as a lettermark, by the way. The font and colors were based on the company's parent company's logo. Okay. All right, so what is this? Univia Holdings? Univia Holdings or something like that. So I think I like how you're trying to encase it and you've tied it to the U and the H. I think it might be a little bit much trying to connect the U with the H all the way around like that. Outside of that, it's very simple. This would work at small size, so you'd be able to read everything. So the readability is good. Contrast is good, the way you've displayed it on a light blue background with a dark blue letter contrast. So that works really well. The fact that it says holdings and is kind of like encased in something that's holding it in, it's a relevant, unique approach. So overall, it's a pretty solid design. Let's check out another one. So this is from my fellow admin, JVS. Logo and banner for Cascade, a modular, customizable Discord bot. The goal is to be very clear in small sizes. The segments represent the modular nature of the bot. All right, so let's check this out. Yeah. Cascades. Almost makes me wonder if like you could take the same exact approach and try to get a C, like some type of very abstract C being portrayed in there somehow. Because you have these lines you can work with. This actually reminds me, I'm a big fan of tennis. The Tennis Channel logo. Let me get it up here. I'm not saying like you copied it or anything, but they're kind of I would advocate using the same approach to try to get the C in there somehow. Let me see. For the name is Cascade. So Tennis Channel logo. I'm opening this up on the side. Images. So here's the Tennis Channel logo right here. And you can see what's cool about it is this. It's a T, but it's also kind of like an aerial view of the lines on a tennis court. So if you could get a C in there while still trying to maintain the sort of the concept of having the modular nature in there, that would be awesome. But other than that, great colors, great contrast. Obviously very simple to see at small sizes because this has enough thickness in the lines for that to work. So that would work very well. You can almost like see a C shape in here, but I just still don't think it's just obvious enough. Good stuff though. Let's see what else. My personal logo, designer, developer, and advertiser site is in progress. Okay, so this one right here, we have some issues. Let me get it out here like full size. So the main issue with this one is, if we're talking about the symbol, it's contrast. So this red against this blue, you could just see it's kind of hard to see very slightly. Like it doesn't immediately stick out you like the yellow does. So the immediate thing I would change about this is use something higher contrast. If not white, then use this yellow because the yellow contrasts very well with the blue in the background. What's cool though is I can see that there's a C right here and there's a Y right here. And it's also kind of created in this 3D sort of box shape. So it's very cool. So, you know, C for chiral or spiral or whatever. And then, oh wait. All right, I was thinking that this Y is supposed to be, I guess it's supposed to be just CY for CY right here, because these are two C's right here. Either way, I think it would be much, like 1,000 times more effective if you got rid of this red, or just change the background to white, and then you would have to change the orange part to something else. But yeah, the contrast is the main issue here, so you want to fix that for sure. Yes, this live stream will be available. YouTube makes it available automatically like an hour or two after the stream has ended. So I think this is only for logos. If not, I want your opinion on my first multi-page design here. Let's check it out. Unfortunately, it's not much of a logo. It's probably just a completely type-based logo, so there probably wasn't a logo at all. But I will quickly just check this out. We'll be doing this live stream for like an hour. Okay, so this design here, we have some issues. Just in terms of basic graphic design or basic design fundamentals. It doesn't have to be graphic design, but like the UI design as well. These fundamentals are just basic things like scale, white space, which is the distance between elements and inside of elements and outside of elements, And that's one issue here. Like for instance, best models for this year, top of this, we have all this white space here, and then like half that down here. It throws off the flow of the layout when you do things like that. I also think that this, your type could definitely be larger for at least this desktop view that we have here. This is pretty small type, so you definitely want to work on that. Not enough white space between your elements up here. So just simple stuff like that that you can really stand to work on. Again, I'm trying to focus on logo design, but that's all I will note about the UI stuff. After that, who we have next? Yeah, okay. Here is, okay, your opinion would be nice to hear. I have learned a lot from you. Okay, all right, thank you. Let's check this one out. Let me get my dashboard over here. Okay. All right. I remember seeing this design before. Let's take a look at the logo though. ND, Nordic Dev. All right, so first off, I would say there's some minute changes I would definitely make about this logo right here. The N, let me make this real large. There we go. So it's a lettermark symbolism, so we have ND for Nordic Dev. The one thing that's throwing me off right away is the thickness or the weight of three different things that are happening here. First, you have the type, which has a certain weight to it. Then you have the ND, which is slightly thicker and more bold. And then you have this circle around it, which is not equal to either of the other two elements. It's actually smaller. It's the thinnest element. The slight offsetting of the thickness of these three elements creates an inconsistency. Ideally, you would at max, like you would want it, like if you're going to keep the ND this thick, make the line around it that thick as well. That way you don't have three different elements that are all varying in weight, as it's called. So, or you could just make everything the same exact weight. Now I know it's a little bit more difficult because you probably just took this font and just typed ND and then scaled it up so it naturally would create the thickness. So if you wanted to try to get all the thickness like even, then you would have to have this ND be the same exact size as this the font size over here, or you would have to do it by hand if you wanted to be larger to reduce the weight. But yeah, I think if you did that, it would be a lot better. It's a small change, but it really would make it much more consistent. As far as anything else, in terms of contrast, obviously it's maximum contrast. That works well. It would work well at small sizes. You might want to thicken up this ellipse right here. As far as uniqueness, though, which is another factor of what determines a logo design is being effective or not, it is just an N smashed up against a D. And it also doesn't really say anything as far as, you know, development or coding. So usually if you could do something that's very abstract but also is relevant in a unique kind of way, that's more ideal than just kind of keeping it 100%, you know, just like obvious or whatever. So outside of that, I think it was probably, if I rated it, it would probably be like a 6 out of 10. I think you could get it to 8 easily if you maybe try to work in some type of unique representation of the ND that would also speak to what you do, perhaps, yeah, in an interesting way. All right, thank you for that. As far as the logo design or the UI design, I'll take a quick look at it. One thing that's kind of throwing me off is this almost looks like if I didn't read any of the type, like any of the content to know that this is a designer developer website, I would think to myself, this is like maybe some resort website, like a ski resort, just because we have the snow, we have the trees, we have the deers. So that's kind of throwing me off personally. I know that it looks like that's part of your branding or Nordic Dev or whatever. And I guess that could work if this is a local based business in this type of environment. I like the type here. And I like the color, emphasizing these. Very simple, that works. I would change these buttons up, just style them a little bit differently, because it's a little bit repetitive having all eight of them real close together like this, styled exactly the same. You could do like an inverted outline one here for those bottom ones. But yeah, pretty solid overall. Let's continue on. All right, hello Gear Simon everyone. Okay, look forward to your review and opinion on this design project I'm still on. All right, here it goes. Finally loaded. All right. Wow, a lot happening here. So it's I like UIs that have you know, like high content requirements. It's interesting what people come up with. My initial reaction is it's actually pretty solid in terms of the UI design. Looking at the logo, I wonder if I can't really increase the size at all. But looking at this logo right here, Diagon, I think that's probably how you pronounce it. It's kind of small. It's hard for me to see in here. It looks like obviously a negative sort of play on the D. Again, I think it's so small. I don't want to spend a lot of time working on it. I like it as a whole, though. The color, this red works well with this very dark blue. Contrast works. Again, I don't see anything in terms of relevance of the logo, but it does look unique enough. I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of having like a lettermark right next to the actual the first letter of what it represents, because you kind of like do two D's here. But overall, it's pretty solid. And the UI design itself, yeah, there's not too much negative I can say about this. This works pretty well. We got a super chat here. Thank you for that. All right, I'm going to check that site out real quick. We'll go to the next in line naturally. So if you do a super chat, you get thrust to the very beginning of the line. We've been doing this for about 25 minutes now. So probably go about 35 more minutes or so. So let's see here. All right. All right, so what I would like to see, I'm not sure, by the way, if you really wanted me to look at your logo versus the UI design, but I'll just take a look at both real quick. So this layout lacks structure, in my opinion, because there's not really just much here. You have your navigation just center line with a symbolism right here with your name, welcome to my portfolio site. I think you have to have more of like a structured layout for this to be more effective. So like, let me check out gallery. Also, the navigation links and the way you've used this certain font, it really, honestly, it makes me think of the late 90s when I was designing back then. I think you really, what would benefit you the most is go to Google and type in web designer portfolios or something like that, and try to see, just try to get inspiration for layout ideas, because what we have here is just, it's really just saying, you know, you're probably a beginner. You want to try to do as much as you can to try to get outside of that box, if you will. You don't want people, you know, I mean, if you're a beginner, that's fine and it's expected in a way, but really, if you're a beginner, one of the things I don't advocate copying, like just blatantly ripping a design off. But what I do advocate, and I have a couple videos on my YouTube channel dedicated to this topic, is going to, you know, web design inspiration galleries. There's a bunch of them on there. Just go to Google, type that keyword, and sit there in your UI design application, if that's Adobe XD or Figma or whatever. If you see a design and you really think in yourself, wow, I would love to be able to create something like that from scratch on my own. Take that design and recreate it just as a practice, and just recreate it pixel for pixel. See how, you know, what tools you need to create that. But the biggest advantage you would have in doing that sort of process is doing it for a bunch of them. You know, do it for weeks. Don't, like, obviously you don't want to upload them and say that it's your own. You don't want to do that. But the process of copying, like physically taking your hands and your mouse and you're visualizing and you're just copying that layout, that actually helps you develop your own style if you do it over enough designs that really inspire you. And eventually, once you start to take on projects yourself or even practice projects and doing it from scratch, you'll see that you're going to pick up some of those really good cues from other designs. So that's what I would advocate doing. Looking at this logo, I don't really see, it's definitely interesting, but I would definitely get rid of the tiny little strokes that you have here, the very thin strokes, because when you scale that thing down, it's going to get real cluttered. So you really want to stick with simple lines, which means usually avoiding thin strokes. Also, you kind of duplicated it here, so it really messes it up and makes it cluttered. So yeah, I would definitely do the same thing, maybe even with just going to logo design galleries. Go to dribbble.com, type in logos, and just try to really sit there and examine and analyze what constitutes effective logo design. But thank you very much for submitting and also the super chat for sure. All right, let's continue on. Where are we at? Damn, why did it go scroll all the way down? Okay. All right. Hello, Gary Simon. This is my portfolio page with some of the logo and UI designs. All right, let's check that out. Oh, Adroit sent me some a super chat. Sparks here sent you a AI of logo I designed. Let me check that out before I get to that one I just brought up. Trying to find it. There we go. You're gonna make me open up Adobe Illustrator, huh? Well, I guess I will, only because you sent a super chat. It's loading. Slowly but surely. It's been a while since I opened up. What's it doing? Come on, open up. There it goes. All right, it'll open up on my other monitor. 1 second. Yeah, a simple screenshot would have done. Just do that next time, because I don't need to have the actual file. Okay, we got some issues, man. Okay, so we have SKD for SK Deft. Work with professionals. Okay, so the symbolism is a play here on SKD, which is, you know, I guess you'd say the initials. But here's the problem. This doesn't really work well with this. I would say if we got rid of this, this is all grouped up, ungroup, and just presented it like this, this here is 1,000 times better. Even without this right here, because this, first of all, it's kind of hard to see initially because you have it skewed, but second of all, the type of lines and the style of these marks right here, it's very whimsical, and it just feels so different than the very serious sans serif depiction of the type right here. So this type of symbolism, again, yeah, I just don't think it fits at all with this. I mean, if I tried turning this around, I mean, it's still a tough sell to get that working with this. So what I would do, just do this, SK Depth, work with professionals. I don't even know what this is for. Like, is this like, oh, and by the way, the SKD right here and the D being thick like this, and then the EFT being a different lighter weight, I wouldn't do that either. I would just make this, whatever this type is. What is happening here? Oh, that's what's happening. There we go. I think it would be much better if we went like that. There, we simplified it much more now. We don't have all these varying weights. So that's like 1,000 times better. And if you really want to make it unique and you don't just want it to be purely like a word mark based type of logo, what you can do is try to think of a way that you can alter one of these, like the S or the K or the D, to try to get a unique yet relevant depiction in here. That would be, you know, it would make it unique, but it would also be relevant based on whatever this is. Like if this is a coding company, try to think of something that you can do to alter these letters that would just have a very subtle hint at what the purpose of this business is. So that's my opinion. Ditch that or come up with something brand new for the symbolism. Thank you for the super chat. All right, let's continue on. All right, so what, we got 30. About half of our time is used up now. Let's continue on. All right, so go Tiro, okay, whatever. Oh, Tiro or something like that. UI web designer, graphic designer. Okay, so I see what you've done with the lettermark here. It's pretty unique. G into an O. Wait, is that really what it's supposed to be? Okay, I'm getting myself all screwed up. So if we were technically doing a lettermark, if it was going to be based on the first initial of the first and last name, it would be a GT, but that's fine. I still like this. The colors work well with each other. If it's supposed to be actually GO, go, that kind of makes sense to go with you, if that's what the intention was behind this. As far as the UI design, if this is all that you're using for especially a desktop resolution, you know, you're wasting opportunity in terms of space. If you're just going to say your name with this large lettermark logo symbolism, and just to say that you're a UI web designer, graphic designer, you have a lot of space to do something else that might be a little bit more interesting, such as featuring or showcasing like one of your great projects or something like that. So I would think about that first and foremost. Now, having this sort of gallery like this, where you know you have some complex designs and they're really close together, it's hard to track. I would add a lot more white space. In fact, I did a video recently within the last week or two about showcasing design projects in terms of galleries on your portfolio. So definitely check that video out. Let's continue on. Trying to find, there we go. Beanagame.com, buying a game. All right. All right, so an interesting sort of robot character. I'd say it works for the most part, but unfortunately because we're showcasing on this default Discord blue background, it's a weird color combination, but I suspect this would work even if it's on like a white background. The actual character, it's a little bit much in terms of detail for symbolism for my liking, just because we have, like in this certain area, we see there's a lot of fine detail right here, close up against different shapes. Yeah, like right in this section. So, and plus this little tiny element coming out here. When you're dealing with logo designs, you want to simplify things as much as possible, so that it's still easily identifiable at small sizes. Plus, outside of that concern, simple is just usually easier to remember than complex. And so the more you can simplify the visual representation, you know, your visual identity, the better. So overall, I like it, but I think you can simplify it more so and it will become more effective. Let's continue on. It's the first logo I ever made. This one is for a new blog kind of guide called, okay, you don't have to review the website though. Let's just check the logo. Well, where is the logo? Because I don't see it. If the logo is supposed to be this seems more to me like a illustration. Let me move this over here. Yeah, because this element seems to be just more like a graphic illustration rather than just a logo of some sort. Now, logos sometimes don't have to have any accompanying sort of text. Like, for instance, Apple, they just have like an Apple logo. But usually if you're going to show a logo somewhere, at least have it like in the header as it pertains to your UI designs. I don't see it at all over here. I just see Mobile Coding Hub. So people are used to seeing the branding usually on the upper left corner and associated with the name for the most part. So this right here as a logo in itself, a symbolistic logo in and of itself, would be far more effective if you simplified it. Like I said, because this just kind of feels more like an icon as it does a logo. You have a bunch of 01s and 01s. That wouldn't be effective for a logo design. So you want to think about how you can simplify what you're trying to convey over here. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I used to solely design logos for like 5 or 6 years. So I think I kind of know what I'm talking about. I would hope so, at least. So let's see here. Can you review the website of a high schooler? Okay. I'm going to be brutal on you, though. I'm not going to lie. Might make you cry. Where did my thing go? Did I close out? I have like my YouTube dashboard giving my live stats. So I need to make sure I do that. I'm going to get that back open here. 1 second, people. Creator, let's go. All right. Well, I'm actually kind of impressed so far, but based on first glance. I'm just getting this out over here. Okay, good. 36 minutes. Okay. So I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'll just call you Ayush. Ayush, I guess. All right. So we can see the logo this time is like kind of like right here in the middle, and I guess that kind of works. And it's an abstract sort of A, so that works. If you're a high schooler and this is what you've come up with, I've noticed like there's a very subtle line right here and over here. So that's kind of it's creating, you know, a certain sort of texture and feel. It works in my opinion. These are kind of laid out strange. We're like right here, 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 and with this works right here, kind of just being tucked right there. But if you're a high schooler, yeah, this is really solid. I like this sort of this typeface right here. I design and build digital products. Yeah, this is very solid in my opinion for a first time or somebody who's just in high school. I remember, hey, by the way, if you guys ever want to see what my work looked like when I was in high school, go search for on my channel search, because I'm 36 now. I've been doing this forever. Do a channel search for portfolio. Just type in portfolio, and I think you're going to find it. My web design portfolio from 1999. Awesome, awesome. Good stuff, dude. All right. Please review my design. Here's the website. Okay. All right, this is solid. From my first glance, kind of going from this red to this pink. I love the very simple navigation. The logo looks very solid. So it's Omni Communication Assistant, and it's a Lettermark logo with OCA. What the hell happened to my... I'm gonna make sure I'm still live streaming. Am I still here? What happened to my Discord server? That's not good. Okay, well anyhow. Your Omni Communication Assistant, only 1 click away from customer. Let me resize this. Remove, there we go. Yeah, this is solid right here. And coming down. What is going on with my Discord? Are you guys still here? Make sure I'm not talking to myself. Everything here is solid, from the UI design to the logo. Looking at this. So yeah, so the OCA, the only thing I would say that was probably a possible issue with this is just this little click symbolism in here, in the fact that these three, it looks like a clover almost, if that's the idea. That's really thin. That's a very thin stroke right there. And at small sizes, that may be kind of hard to see, as you can see right there. So probably want to remove that whole thing from the center and just stick with the OCA. It'd be much more simplistic. So that's my main concern. But everything, I mean, the logo is still solid. It's just a minor gripe about that. So yeah, very effective. Now what's going on here? How can I review designs if this crap is happening? Let's click on server status. And I guess if you guys can, try to submit your links in YouTube chat. I can do it that way. My connection's still good. So there must be an issue with Discord. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Oh well, at least we got to 40 minutes. More than halfway through, but I can't continue if Discord is not working anymore. I won't be able to see your submissions. Is it working for anybody else, or is there anybody else having issues with Discord? Let me know in the YouTube chat. Son of a bee. Let me see if it's working on my phone. That sucks. Maybe somebody's hackering me. You know what's kind of strange? It's not updating on my phone either. Like I have Discord on my phone, and I'm looking at it, and in my feedback channel, I do not see. I only see like a few of them. Hold on, let me see. I don't see all the ones that I designed. Let's see if I can log in, log back out, so I can try to get to more, or just completely get rid of this and restart. Yeah. Dude, what is happening? Yeah, see, not even status.discord app is where are any other websites working? I'll go to weather.com. Yeah, it's working. So maybe there's an issue with one of the servers that I'm being connected to in terms of at Discord, because nothing is working for me. Discord's a chat application. Yeah, everything else is working for me. This is stupid. Huh. Yeah, well, some, you know, some services and like Discord that are used by millions of people per day, they don't just have a single server that everybody connects to. There's a global network of servers, and the one that I'm connecting to, that it's connecting me to, could be down. That's why it can still work for some people, but not for me. Huh. Yeah, because everything else is good. Like my YouTube live streaming, look at this. This tells me how long I've been streaming, how many people are watching, and my stream health. It's green, so I'm not having issues on that end. Okay, the browser Discord. I mean, Discord, if I type in Discord and I go to discordapp.com, I don't even think discordapp.com is going to work, like the main Discord web-based version. All right, well, you know what we're going to do for the remainder of some of the time, maybe for a little bit, I'll just talk in the chat. I mean, there's nothing else I can do. Kind of sucks. Yeah, I used to have, no, I didn't know. I thought maybe I had a Slack channel. Maybe there's a different way you guys can try to communicate with me. I'm trying to think what else. There's Slack, but I don't have like my own Slack channel set up. Yeah, the issue, YouTube is filtering out links. They don't want people spamming in the chat, so that's going to be difficult. Thanks Bass, thanks a lot. So I finished my song, by the way, the track that I'm going to be coming out with for my retrowave track, in the video. And just yesterday, because I was in Akron, Ohio, it's where my daughter is. She's in the hospital. There's a guy that's 5 minutes away with a warehouse full of old computers, literally over 1,000 old computers this guy has. And I got to look through it, and he let me take a few of them as props. Some people, he said, Mindhunters, the Netflix series, used his several of his computers and monitors. Who else? Stranger Things might be using it for their 4th season. So it's just awesome. I got a Commodore monitor here, model 1702. It's going to be so fun making this music video, by the way. What's your phone number? I ain't giving out a phone number. Yeah, well, you know what? Because I've got so little sleep, I think I'm just going to end it now. I still have to go outside and deal with my leaves and stuff. I mean, they're just all over the damn floor. I haven't had time to do them. So what I'm going to do is just, we'll do this again, maybe in a few weeks. And if I didn't get to yours, I apologize. But yeah, we'll get to it again. But yeah, I need to yeah, right. I wish it would. I like the vote of confidence, Droid guys. I think it's a pretty good track, though. It's 4.5 minutes long. Maybe I could show you guys the intro. I'll let you guys hear the intro. 1 second. It's just like the first 50 seconds, but I think it sounds so damn cool. Hold on. I'm going to get the link. I have it stored on Amazon S3, so it's just an MP3 file. Let me get the link to that. Somebody said check my website on localhost. Let's see here. And so it's a retro wave track, which is a certain sound, a certain aesthetic that makes you think of the 1980s, but with a strong guitar lead, because it's supposed to be a guitar reveal at 500,000 subscribers, which is about 25,000 subscribers away. It'll be there in about a month and a half, I would assume. But I'm gonna have a music video to go along with it. Let's see. So let's click on slant. DC try 1. Okay, there we go. All right, I have the link. Now I can't just play it on this stream because I don't have my stuff hooked up. Here it is. Yeah, you guys can check that out. It's right before the drums and the main verse kicks in. But yeah, I'm excited about it. What is the difference between front developer and a UI UX design? Front-end developer is somebody who deals with the code of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And a UI UX designer is somebody who works within apps like Adobe XD, Figma, and different prototyping tools to design the actual look of the site, but also to try to, if you're a UXer, you do much more than just design. So I did a video on UI versus UX, but that's the difference between UI UX and a front-end developer. Front-end developer just takes what the UI UX developer or designer gives them in terms of mock-ups and prototypes and makes it a working reality in the browser. That was probably the one I just linked you to is like the pre-mixed well and not mastered version. So the final version, it's a mix that comes together much more well. I have no clue. I'm probably just going to release it on YouTube and just link an MP3 file. Like I'm not I'm not trying to become like a musician out of it. It's just for fun. All right, I am going to submit it to all these like retrowave YouTube channels. Like there's a bunch of them that posts just like hour-long compilations of 80s retrowave, vaporwave sort of tracks and stuff. So that'd be cool. Am I interested in the user research aspect of UX? The most interesting aspect of UX to me is split testing and trying to figure out you know, what design, what variables work well to convert to certain goals. And I want to start doing possibly a series on that where I design a layout and then we throw real traffic at it, like paid traffic, and then we do like split testing and multivariate testing, and we try to may have like a user poll on like who thinks which one will result in the most success depending on like the goal metric or whatever. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, the drums come in, and let me show you. I can show you guys. 1 second. I use for my DAW, which is a digital audio workstation. I use Reaper. This is what it looks like, and I'll show you what some of the VSTs look like, which are the virtual instruments, like for the drums. By the way, I'm not a professional. Like this is my first real full-length track that's like 4+ minutes long, and this is kind of what it looks like. For the drums, I'm using this VST over here. Where's it at? Right here. So check this out. So like, one of the things I also want to do a tutorial on, if I can get good at it, is VST designs, because VST designs, these virtual instruments, are so freaking cool, and they're interfaces that actually work like with 3D elements. I know you can't hear that well because you're only getting through my mic, and the other ones I'm using for some of the synths are up here. Which one is this? Oh, this is called Monarch. This is from, what do you call it? Native Instruments. So I have a lot of Native Instruments products that I've been using. What is this one? I'm using a sequencer for some of the drums. Also, yeah. Oh, yeah, well, I was also using Super 8, I believe, as well for some of them. I'm also using there's a robotic voice in here. Let me find it. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to hear it though. Oh well. I'm excited though. It's going to be fun. So yeah, I will see you guys real soon. Discord is just refusing to work, unfortunately. But yeah, we got to almost an hour. So yeah, look forward. Probably in about 2 or 3 weeks. Probably about 3 weeks, we'll do another one of these where it's just like a UI UX design review. All right, I'll see you guys real soon. Goodbye.